Well, hello there, friends, and welcome to Virtual Show, your only late night VR talk show. I'm your host, Wes. With me, as always, my good friend Ruuts. Ruuts, happy Sniper Elite Eves.
Can't wait, bro. Hopefully we get a key. Be nice. I guess we're gonna get
Well, I'm
we
going to get it. We're going to get a key either way.
yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm probably going to get more than one because I still haven't decided whether or not I want to play it on PC or PlayStation VR. I think the correct answer is
Both.
both.
It is out on Steam as well, right? As Oculus.
I think so. I would imagine it would have to be. I mean, it's on everything else.
S-
I imagine it'll be on Steam as well.
So here's what we do then. We just regardless of whether we get a key, we just pick up one or two keys, one on the PlayStation account for you, and then one on the shared Steam account.
Well, we could do that. We certainly could do that, and that sounds like a pretty good plan. Excited, man! It's been a while since we had one of these, right? I mean, there's been high profile releases, but it's been a while since we've had one that we've been waiting on for like a year, and now it's finally hitting the store, and it feels good. It feels good to have something like that to look forward to.
Are you nervous?
Am I nervous? Well, but that might suck.
Well, Medal of Honor, bro. Like that was the last time I felt this way. I don't want to I can't have my heart ripped out and trampled on again like that, Wes. I need solidification. Needs to be good. And
Well, here's the
it's
thing.
okay, go ahead.
Couple things.
Mm.
Couple things. One, Medal of Honor. How much did Medal of Honor cost when it launched? Was it
Way
60
too much,
bucks?
yeah.
50 or 60 bucks, right?
Mm.
The Sniper Elite's 30 bucks.
That's
So
true.
there's one. Secondly, Medal of Honor got better, and how much better remains to be seen,
Mm.
but they did improve upon it. And kind of what I've been doing this week with the games I've been playing have been this type of single player military campaign style games so that I could be in that right frame of mind, right? So I can make accurate comparisons when I get into Sniper Elite. So I've been playing Zero Caliber Reloaded.
Mm.
I even picked up Medal of Honor again and started back into that. So we're ready. We're ready to judge this thing clearly now, having spent the last few days in these types of games.
I think you nailed it though. Like I've even said recently, I would pick up Medal of Honor if it was half price at 30 bucks, possibly, Um, possibly. But so coming out at that price is going to be a good thing. And it's going to be good regardless. I just would like to have gotten a key before now. But every once in a while we got to wait till the release like everybody else, right?
Well, it's one of these weird things where it's been kind of a wild goose chase for me to figure out who to contact to get a key. I've
Mm.
tried one method to no avail. I tried another method, which led to another, which I just now today submitted a request to the proper place.
Mm.
So I mean, it makes sense that we don't have one yet because they
Yeah.
really haven't had a chance to respond
That's
yet.
true. Do
So
we wait then? We just wait a couple more days, or do?
well, I'm not going to wait. I
That's
mean,
what I'm
we'll wait a
saying.
little while. I won't buy it as soon as it hits the store, but I might wait an hour, 2 hours, something like that, and then pull the trigger on it.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, it's kind of how I feel. I don't know, Wes. I feel let down lately. Just this last day or two, I've been the last couple weeks, I've been seeing all these derails, all his links, right? He's sending all these links, and everybody's like trying to get Diz to get this PlayStation 5, right? I still don't know if he's got it or not. And so I thought, oh wow, like I just got a bonus for work. I was decided, okay, finally I'm gonna get it, and now it's the channel's silent, bro. I've been waiting, and there's no now all of a sudden there's no notifications. D-Rail did send me a text or a message yesterday, and I could have gotten a package with two controllers and the SAC game, and I don't want the SAC game. And if it would have
Looks like a
been
sack.
yeah, if it was Returnal, I would have gotten it. But yeah, so that's the big news. I am gonna pick up my PlayStation 5 and then sell it off, like
That
Wes said.
is that's great. So and you don't have you'll have to get the whole VR and everything. Oh, well, that's a good question for you. Are you going to get a PSVR 1 to enjoy these PS exclusives over the next year, assuming that you can get a PS5 sometime soon?
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna get a PlayStation 5. I know they're supposed to do some targets tomorrow morning, 5:40 a.m. So we'll see. I'm on the hunt. So
Well,
um,
a little word of advice to you here on this front, and I don't know if your roommate is still with you that has the PlayStation VR. Um, you get that serial number off of it so that you can go ahead and order your camera now, because the camera adapter to play VR on PS5 isn't something you can pick up in stores. It's something you have to order with your serial number.
oh yeah, no, I
So
can grab it. I just I walk by the PlayStation all the time, so just grab it
well, there you
right off
go.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, I would suggest you go ahead and do that because it takes a little while, and that way, when you do finally come down with your PS5, you'll have your VR setup ready to go. Um, I don't think you're going to have to wait long. I don't think it's going to be for you like it has been for everyone that's been waiting since November. Things seem to be coming back, man. That the PS five stock seems to be dropping a little more frequently than it was before. Graphics cards are showing up on shelves,
Mm.
and crypto dipping a little bit in terms of value. Uh, Put together with the new LHR low hash rate cards seems to be working. So things are finally coming back into stock as we approach the 1 year mark since they launched.
And what are your thoughts? Should people buy them? Because I was watching a video that the guy was making the case that people still need to not buy them until the price drops down to MSRP because they're still overpriced. They are coming down, but they're still, you
It's
know what I
e-
mean?
it's easy for these guys to say. Almost every person that's making these videos that are saying people should wait before they pick up a graphics card,
True.
these are all people who have a bookshelf behind them full of graphics cards. They don't know what it's like to be a gamer out here, especially a high-end VR gamer sitting here tweaking settings with our 1080s and our 1080 Ti's, waiting on that next upgrade to come. So, should you or should you not buy it at X or Y price? This is a very individual uh, question for every single person, and the answer is going to vary depending on your situation.
Micro Center. That's what Toad Shambo was saying, right? Micro Center.
Yeah, that's generally where they land first, and it's proving to be the case again this time.
Yeah.
So yes, Micro Center is getting and to be clear, it's all the new ones, right? The 3070 Ti, the 3080 Ti. These new cards are the ones that feature the LHR low hash rate versions. Now, with regards to that hash rate, I'm not sure from a technical standpoint what that means for the card. They say it doesn't make any difference with regards to gaming performance, and that's good. I take them at their word on that. I am kind of curious to know um, whether these cards will be affected on a workload
Mm.
that's not gaming, video rendering, things like this that we use it for our channel work. Will it perform lower being one of these LHR cards? I doubt it, but I haven't heard anyone say definitively one way or the other.
Who knows? Maybe it's like all about how much timing, as far as like if they do it like space it out and have interruptions, some things that would mess with the Bitcoin things that wouldn't mess with everything else. I don't know. They did say that there was going to be a way or possible way that people could hack it. So I'm sure eventually you'll get a workaround and be able to
Yeah,
fix it.
that's the thing, right? It's speculated that these LHR cards, there's really nothing physically different about them. The difference is all in the firmware. So this hash rate can be unlocked through custom firmware or future updates. This has already been the case with some of the 3060 models. Some of those launched as LHR and then had it removed later. But does it really matter? I mean, um, if it has the effect of getting the cards in the gamer's hands, it's kind of a good thing that after the cards are out there that they're changing them over, right?
Yeah, that's true. Well, and I don't know. I know Radio Run says he's enjoying his 3080. I enjoy my third 2080 still, but wish it was a
But
3080.
it's weird for me with my 3080 because there's still driver compatibility issues with regards to the G2. It works, but whenever I'm wanting to go into PC gaming, I'm going there for something specific, right? I'm looking for a higher fidelity experience. That's why we spend all these thousands of dollars, right? So I've got the best headset and the high spec computer and all of this, and it just don't want to play well together. For example, I was playing Dirt Rally 2 earlier tonight, and I really enjoyed the experience. My first time in with the wheel, you know, steep learning curve. Don't get me wrong, steep learning curve with this. I did not do well at it. But with in regards to immersion, um, I I didn't feel like the wheel and pedals was the weak link. The wheel and pedals was the strength of my immersion. The weak link was the game graphically. Like it didn't seem real to me. It seemed like I was playing a video game, and I couldn't jack it all the way up on ultra. I'd go into the graphic settings, I'd flip it over to ultra detail, and immediately it would get choppy and unplayable. I had to keep
Hmm.
it on high, and just running a 3080, not being able to run it on ultra, you know, less than a year into my purchase. I mean, it's a little bit disheartening.
That's just the G2 though, right?
That's just the G2. I have not yet tried the Oculus headset, which
Hmm.
I do speculate will be better. Now, to be clear, people running the G2 with like 2000 series cards and even like 1080 Ti's are having no issues whatsoever. It's only with the factory overclock versions of the 3000 series are these problems rearing their ugly head. And it's not a big problem. It's an occasional thing now. It used to be constant. It has been improved to the point of just being an occasional thing. I just don't feel like at this point it should be a thing at all anymore. I mean, I've had these things for a while and I paid a lot of money for them. It would be nice if they could get it figured out at some point.
Yeah, well, it seems like nothing seems to work properly when I mean not everything, just I don't know, man. Windows mixed reality has jank to some extent.
Yeah.
It just is amazing as it's one of the best displays, you know what I mean? It's
It's
just
that's the shame. The display's so good, the audio's so good, everything's so good with it. It just doesn't want to play with my computer. I'm almost to the point now of taking it into the kids' room and just letting it be the headset for his computer because he's running 1080, you know,
oh,
and it while it's not nearly as highly powered as my computer is, I feel like it's going to perform just as well in a lot of games.
that's true. That's true. Yeah, you could sell
Yeah, I could sell that, but it's
it.
difficult when Walmart's letting them go at $400. You know what I
I
mean?
don't think they're on sale like that anymore. I know that even just the day after they were, I think they went up to $500, which was weird within one day. And I'm assuming they're probably still at 600 again. That was probably like a short term
Yeah,
thing.
I'm sure they are. I'm sure they are. And to be clear, I'm just on a bit of a bitch fest because I've got some fresh disappointment on me here
Mm.
from this. Uh, Typically, my experiences over the last couple of months with my G2 have been very good. It was just I like the wheel and pedals, man. I wanted everything to be perfect. The force feedback, the true force from the newer Logitech wheel, I really dug it, man. They nailed that feeling when you're driving a car and you lose traction with the road and you start to slide, like maybe your ass end starts to fishtail a little bit. They nailed that feeling in the steering wheel where all of a sudden you feel a little bit of resistance and then the wheel goes dead and you have to cut it back the other way to kind of get things back in control. It felt like it was supposed to feel, and I was pleasantly surprised with that.
Mm. That's cool. Well, that 450 Mash says G2 is at Walmart. So now it's at 450. It's bouncing all over the place, just like this game.
Yeah, see, I probably wouldn't want to sell it for what I could get for it. Like, it's not worth it for me to sell it for $400. It's worth buying at $400, and I recommend anybody who has a chance to buy one at $400 should pick it up. It is getting better. It's gotten way better, actually. Even the microphone issues, they've worked those all out. It's just every now and then, man, you really want to crank it up, and you just don't seem to be able to sometimes with this thing.
Yeah. Well, what did you think about the Dirt Rally 2? Did you
What I thought about Dirt Rally 2 is that, well, let me just preface this by saying that I've never been one to play sim racing. Like, I haven't played this type of game with motion controllers or even a D-pad on a flat screen. I've typically, historically, been an arcade racer. So this wasn't only my first wheel and pedals experience. It wasn't my only first sim racing experience in a VR headset. It was my first sim racing experience ever. And there's a steep learning curve here, man. I went into the game. I booted it up. I looked for the training mode, which doesn't appear to be a thing. So after I saw that there wasn't any kind of learning stuff programmed into the game, I went into the garage, and I noticed in the garage it will let you test drive your cars. So really, that's all I did was just test drive the cars, try to learn how to drive. The first couple of times I ran straight off the road. I couldn't even drive the thing at all. But as time went on, I got a little bit of a feel for it, and it was fun. It's something that's going to be a work in progress for a while. It's going to take a lot of practice to get actually good at it. But it felt good. The feedback from the wheel and pedals felt better than I expected it to. So it makes me want to go back in and do more.
Oh, nice. Well, it's all about the handbrake, and there is actually a training mode. If you just go into the beginning of like the career mode or whatever, it will like the very first level as you're going. The guy's doing his jibber jabber thing that he likes to do.
I have no idea what. Yeah, I have no idea what that guy was saying even one time.
But okay, so it starts the race where it tells you okay, to hold down the handbrake. So to me, that told me, oh God, that's where the handbrake is. So now I know how to take the corners quick, right? And then you take off, and the guy's doing he's talking and he's saying his thing, and it has like little arrows at the top. It's different than the first one. So it'll show you, like, he'll say that it'll show that there's a steep turn or a right turn or a left turn. And I think that's how you kind of learn as he's talking and he's doing his thing. So I was kind of learning his lingo a little bit. Like we were connecting and bonding a little bit, which was cool. So.
Yeah, my impressions of Dirt Rally 2 coming out of a very short stint test driving cars is that it's probably not the best game to learn how to play these kinds of games on. Like, I feel like where this is a game that's kind of a drifting game, it's not really a tires to the road racer. I feel like it might be even a little bit harder to learn how to drive in this thing.
Depends on what kind of driving you're talking about, but you're right. Like Project Cars 2, you could try that. You have access to that through my Steam account, and that's pretty cool. It's actually one of the
I've got access to for a lot, pretty much anything that I would want to play. I'm looking forward to trying out Grid. It's another one that supports the True Force functionality of the wheel. And I'm looking forward to trying out all the stuff that I already know how to play. Like, I'm looking forward to playing Dash Dash in this thing. You said that I might need a mod to get it to work on grip, but still, it's something I'd like to do. Games like Radial G, games like Wipeout, these are the type of games that I already know how to play. And that would be what I really would need to get into today to judge, how good the wheel is or isn't.
Dash Dash would be amazing because you've got your controller and you got your steering wheel. So you're still grabbing stuff and doing stuff, but then you're steering. And think about this, GTA 5. You could hook that up and you could drive around town in GTA 5 when you do go into it. So
yeah, that's another thing I was thinking about. It's that Luke Martin mod. That's right, Luke Martin. Is that correct?
Luke Ross.
Luke Ross
It
mod.
maybe Luke Ross Martin.
No,
Oh, I
it's
know.
not.
Oh.
One of my old friends' name that I used to work with decades ago was a guy named Ross Martin, and I always get them mixed up because of that. It's a weird thing I've got going on in my head. But no, I look forward to trying out my arcade racers in this thing. With regards to Dirt Rally, I enjoyed it. I'm going to play it more. I mean, I put a great deal of effort into getting this 100 plus gigabyte game onto my hard drive. I'm not going to just put it down.
It's crazy how big that game is, right? Because I thought the same thing. You know, I thought, like when you were getting the wheel, I thought, okay, we're going to be talking about this, so I need to go and play. And this was like a week or two ago. And so I'll just load it up real quick. No, dude. Like I was like an hour and a half later or whatever. I don't know, maybe not that long, but I like laid down. You know what I mean? Because it was taking so long. Come on, bro. I just want to have some guy in my car.
Radio right in the chat says you need to use a mod to play it, and it still sucks. Don't play grip with the wheel. Okay, I'll take your word for it. Spry Guy says Wreckfest and Helix Vision. I like how you're thinking there, friend. You know, a month ago, I turned down a review request for Wreckfest, if I'm not mistaken, based on the fact that we had already covered it. I probably should have held off on that, huh?
Are you talking about the flat game?
Yeah, Wreckfest.
Oh wow, no, I got a copy of it myself. It's actually really good. Not only is it cool, but there's so many different lobbies and stuff of public rooms where you can get in there, and there's just chaos. What is it? Poop socks, Radio Run. He's got the best poop socks that everybody knows has the best races for sure.
You know what I'd like to try it in, and I'm not sure whether or not it supports it or not. Death Lap. I think Death Lap would be fun with one of these controller wheel type deals.
Yeah, dude. That I forgot about that game, man. That game was just kind of it came out at the wrong time, or they didn't have enough maps, or something.
They didn't have enough maps, and they didn't continue to support the game after they launched it. It launched to mixed reviews due to the PC version being graphically similar to the Quest version, which they both look great in my opinion. I didn't think that was a legitimate criticism with that game. But also it had very limited number of maps, and that was a legitimate criticism, and they never added a single track to the game. So it's understandable why it died the quick death that it did.
Yeah, true. What a bummer.
But it was a fun game, and I still enjoyed playing it. The servers are still up. I played it not that long ago, actually, and I think this type of wheel and pedal setup. Oh, I played with local co-op with my family.
Oh, okay. Well, it's always full then.
Yeah, exactly. Now I don't know. Is it an easy thing to pair these Oculus games up with the wheel? Like I've only used Steam VR with it so far, and I know it works with PlayStation. How does Oculus and the Oculus software play with the wheel and pedals?
As far as everything I've seen, it's more about your computer. You know, your computer takes over and it just registers there's a wheel, and I've never had issues. I've had more issues with specific games. But you know, like I can't remember which one it was, but maybe it was that particular wheel. And I guess you're kind of doing a review. Who was it that was asking in the Discord?
James.
James. Yeah. So would you, so far, if James was right here, which hey James, you probably are here at some point in history or in the future, should he get this wheel? Does it seem like it's worth picking up? Is it $350 at Best Buy, he said? Is that a good deal?
Let me preface any more words about this thing, and once again, impress upon the viewers that I am probably the last person that you want to ask for wheel and pedal advice.
After 20 minutes?
As I'm a noob with it. But yeah, I'm impressed with it. It's within my return window, and I have no plans to send it back. So yeah, it did nicely. Now I've only tried Dirt Rally 2 with it. It happens to be a game that supports True Force. I don't know how the regular force feedback is going to feel in other games. Like I've only experienced the advanced feedback, so I don't know what the regular stuff feels like, if it's similar or not. But I was impressed with the force feedback in Dirt Rally. I felt it. It felt what I would expect it to feel like, and I was surprised based on your previous experience saying that the force feedback really just feels like a bunch of shaking and stuff that you normally wouldn't feel in a car. That wasn't my experience at all.
Yeah, I wonder if it's that type of wheel or maybe it was just me. What did you pay for it? Was it 350 that he's paying
No,
at Best Buy?
I paid 300 for it.
Okay.
But I mean, mine does not have the shifter. I think I'm going to order the shifter now. That's another question I have for you, experienced sim racers out there.
Me.
I went into Dirt Rally 2 assuming that it was going to be standard transmission. I'm going to have to, clutch and shift to gear up. Um, I was surprised, and I let me say I don't know how to drive standard shift in real life. I never have. I get the concept. I know what to do, but I've never done it. But anyway, I got into the game and I started trying to gear up, and it didn't register at all. Like nothing. Like it wasn't even. It was like I wasn't even doing anything. But as I kept driving, I noticed that it would just automatically shift. Is there a setting I need to switch off to enable manual shifting?
I'm sure there's got to be a manual. There's got to be a manual setting or something that puts it into automatic to begin with. Which I don't know. I mean, aside from the you assuming you would do it, you don't have a shifter, so you don't want to use it anyway until you get the shifter, right?
Right.
So
Well, I wanted to get a feel for the game before I ordered the paddle shifter.
I got
I
you.
am, or I'm sorry, not the paddle shifter, but the gear shift. I think I am going to order it now. Um, I ordered my wheel and pedals during an Amazon promotion. That, like, if you order it through the app, that they send you a coupon a couple weeks later, and they just sent me like a $25 coupon on whatever I want to buy. So I'll probably use that to get like half off that shifter and complete the set.
Okay. Unikazi has a good point. Says it could have been a bad profile for that particular game. Sometimes you have to recalibrate certain different things. Like you have to go into the just like any other recalibration for controller and switch different things. Yeah, I've had to do that for my HOTUS before. Like I was saying to somebody in the Discord about overload, how I couldn't throttle reverse, wouldn't let me. When I put it in reverse, it would stop me, and then when I went forward, it went forward. So I had to change a button. This is not a calibration, but remapping. I would remap the button to push for reverse, to kind of get around it and make it work. So.
Yeah, I went into the controller settings and the options and made sure that the paddle shifters were mapped correctly, and everything was as it was supposed to be. I even remapped them for good measure just to make sure. But nothing, man. When I got in the game, I pressed in the clutch, let off the accelerator, and hit the upshift, and nothing happened. So maybe
Mm.
I'm just missing something. Maybe I'm not doing it right, or maybe there's a setting somewhere I need to toggle over.
Yeah, that's what Diz says. Yeah, manual setting for sure. It's got paddle shifters. Now, let me ask you this: was there any part of you that was tempted to push the guy out of the car? Like, was he annoying you? Because if you don't understand what he's saying, it's already stressful on these dirt roads. You're slipping around. You're trying not to crash.
It
You
was
don't.
fun. It was fun crashing. That was the fun part because it felt like the wheel did such a good job of feeling like a car that had lost control.
Oh God.
With your traction coming and going, and it really did well. So yeah, it kind of did play into those nerves that we all have from our prior car crashes, But at the same time, the reason I'm playing VR is because I want it to affect me on a physical and emotional level. So I liked it. I enjoyed crashing
Mm.
in this. It actually was kind of fun.
Well, you need to finally, for real, um, get into the GTA 5 Luke Ross mod, because if you think driving around in this is fun, I can only imagine driving around in the GTA 5 world, crashing, cop cars, all of it, police chases. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, yeah. You make me want to go delete Red Dead right now without even having played it yet, and
Dude,
put
no.
GTA back on there.
God, Red Dead's so good though, especially now. Now you do have a window. I mean, the DLSS comes out the 13th, right? Although I
That's
mean
right.
it looks amazing now, but if it does work with the DLSS, it's gonna be phenomenal. It already is amazing game, but
Well, there we go. We have a week, right? We can play around, but I mean that's a lot of data to have to re-download.
well, just do like Mash. Mash bought a 12 terabyte external drive or something ridiculous.
Oh, I know what I need to do. I know what I need to do. I'm going to jump back in Medal of Honor and get a little bit more of that under my belt, and then when I get done
Get
with
it out of here.
that, that's 171
Oh
gigabytes
Jesus,
on my hard drive. So
not worth
yeah,
it.
we can get rid of that one.
Yeah, you got plenty of space then.
Yeah, I had fun. I had fun with the Medal of Honor yesterday. Played it with the G2, and that one worked perfectly well with the graphics pushed all the way up.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what your thoughts are about Medal of Honor versus Sniper Elite, back to back.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely an improved game. It's still a little bit broken up. You still kind of want that continuity from chapter to chapter. But again, I'm still in the early part of the game. People say it improves later on. We're gonna find out.
Cool.
Anyway, I guess that's enough jibber jabber for 1 week. We got a lot ahead of us here. We're doing Game of the Month, guys. It's Game of the Month already. We're back with Game of the Month for June 2021. And, you know, they've showed up to chat Ruuts, and I'm glad they have. I feel like we're going to need their help this month.
I know. I was looking at the list today and I was like, I don't know what the hell to pick, bro.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting discussion for sure. So, why don't we get started on that? But before we do that, let's kick the episode off the way we always do by saying hello to our friends in chat. And Traveling Man 3775 is in the chat. He says that the Microsoft Flight Simulator is getting a big update on the 27th. Yeah, it's getting a performance update as opposed to all of these map updates it's been getting. And this performance update is supposed to have a positive effect on the game in VR mode. So you're going to be jumping back into the flight simulator Ruuts?
Yeah, I tried to jump into it last week or two ago. It's what made me think about getting a new processor, because it was like just choppy. And from what Overgeez was saying, it's a processor thing more than a video card. So
All right, so it's going to be good then that we're getting a performance upgrade. Maybe some of the more mid-tier processors will be able to run it a little smoother now.
yeah, well, and I don't have a slouch processor either, man. 8700K is pretty good, but I guess for that it's not enough.
All right. Well, only time will tell if this update will change that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I was thinking as we were greeting the people, it's like, man, that was a long intro. I mean, I guess we said it was going to be a long intro, but that's crazy. Uh, but yeah,
Yeah. Well, I mean, we decided to go long intro this week instead of doing the individual gaming segments like we normally would do, because we didn't have any new releases this week to check out. So we just kind of uh, played what we wanted to, I guess, for lack of a better phrase.
my problem was is I just played Orbis VR and we talked about it last week. So what else am I gonna say?
It's still awesome,
It's
right?
still awesome. Messy's in there. Actually, I've gotten quite a few people drawn in now, Wes, and I need to get back in there.
Yeah, well, yeah. It seemed like there was a pretty good crew in the Discord the other day, ready to suit up and go in.
Yeah, now let me ask you this, and this is more of a personal thing that only you could answer because you've actually tried it. Am I screwing myself for future uh Orbis VR time by picking up Returnal? Is it gonna mess me up?
Dude, you for me, I found it hard to play anything else until I finished the game. And for clarity, I put in about 100 hours into that game.
That's crazy, dude. That's a lot of
Yeah,
hours. And
yeah.
you just
Well, I
got
mean,
the one ending. You could have done it again.
it's not like VR where you have to feel good physically to play it. It's something that you could veg out when you're half asleep and grind on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why I always say I think flat. There's always a place for flat gaming because there's always a time you just feel like chilling, and you know what I mean, and still want to play something. You don't want to necessarily be in VR, um, and especially with the new technology. So, and I'm excited. I want to try the Astrobot thing. So,
Yeah, it was generally me saying that I'm only going to play it for a half an hour and then finding myself not able to put the controller down. You get on a good run, you don't want to stop, and then you finally get you clear a biome, and you can either quit and come back and face the boss tomorrow, or you can go ahead and face the boss now. But if you choose to face the boss tomorrow, well, then you're going to be cold. You're going to go into the boss fight cold and get killed probably. So we might as well go ahead and take on the boss now, and then we'll quit. So then you beat the boss, and now there's a whole new level unlocked for you to go through. And you don't want to stop. We'll just take a little bit of look here at this level and see what the new enemies are, and find out what the new gun's going to be, and then you just keep going and you keep going and you keep going.
wow, makes me want to go. Want to play it, Wes?
Well, I'm sure that your time's coming. You'll have it sooner than you think.
Yeah, well, 6 hours and 20 minutes, and Target supposedly supposed to have a drop.
Well, there you
So
go.
supposedly,
Well, we'll keep an eye on it for you.
yeah.
Wolveraza in the chat says, I still need to get a character up and running in Orbis. Stupid busy week, man. I've been there, bro. Lip Knox in the chat says he needs to boot up the flight sim. He's been afraid of it not working. I'm there, bro. I understand. Eddie C in the chat, as well as Diz the Game Cat. Space Dennison, what's up, man? Thanks for stopping by. Onakazi, Spry Guy, Midlife Kid, Radio Runt. Pretty good crew out here after 1 a.m. in the morning, dude.
Yeah. Thank God it's not 1 a.m. here. I'm already tired, Wes. It's almost 11:30.
Yeah. Well, let's get on with it then. Let's talk about this month's game of the month. For those of you who haven't been around when we've done game of the month before, it's not actually one game of the month. We're choosing a game of the month for each major VR platform. So we'll choose a game of the month for PlayStation VR. We'll choose a game of the month for Quest, and then we'll choose a game of the month for PC VR. But every now and then we'll have one of these months Ruuts, like either last month or the month before we had for PC, where there's just no games, right? There's just no games that release for the platform. And sometimes we'll have one and we'll call it the honorary winner or by default winner. But sometimes we have what happened this month on PlayStation VR when there was literally nothing that came out on PlayStation VR this month.
Yeah. Well, except for your note says some DLCs, right?
Well, we did have one title. There was a title came out called Space Explorer VR. Now, if you read the description of this title, it will claim that it is a game. I beg to differ. I think this is a pure educational simulation. It's a space shuttle takeoff and landing simulator, from what I can tell, and not the best one at that.
It looks realistic, bro.
Yeah. You can't hardly. You mean this isn't like actual video footage?
This isn't real footage. I bet as a kid this would probably be cool, but I mean, other than that,
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. Is that my kids might enjoy this, but can we seriously sit here and call this game of the month, and then at the end of the year when we're talking about Hitman 3 and did any other PlayStation VR games or Fracked or any of these Sniper Elite, when we're talking about what the PlayStation VR game of the year is, should we even give a second of time to Space Explorer VR?
I don't know. Lipnox VR says, "Oh, I played Space Explorer on Steam and it's complete." So
Well, there you have it, straight from the horse's mouth or horse's ass.
it looks cool. It looks like I love the way Earth looks in space, at least what they say. Although some people think the Earth is flat, West, but
I was about to say, Roots, you know what this looks like to me? Looks like a bunch of ballers propaganda, if you ask me.
yeah, yeah. Oh man, people get pissed when it comes to flat
The
Earth,
lie
don't they?
goes deep, bro, all the
Yeah,
way down to the PSVR shovelware.
yeah. Damn, dude, all the way. Yeah, it's just propaganda, right?
Right. All those people out there, they want to, they put this kind of stuff out there so they can convert the PlayStation VR review community because that's the only people who play these games.
Oh God, we had a little bit of hiccup there in the internet. I don't think they liked us talking about NASA that way.
So there
Space
you go.
Force.
Anyway, well, let's get back on topic here. Normally, this would be the part of the show where we kind of snicker a little bit and make fun of whichever platform it was that didn't have any kind of releases this month, but it actually turned out to be a very good month for PlayStation VR. There was a ton of new games announced for PSVR this month, and in addition to that, there was a lot of DLC that got launched this month. We had the Hitman 3 Season of Sloth DLC, which is part of their new seasonal content. Um, the third installment, if I'm not mistaken. We had Jupiter God's Next Challenges DLC, which brought 10 new time attack levels, among other things, to Jupiter God. There was the Beat Saber Interscope DLC pack for those Beat Saber fans out there. There was Boxed In, who added in Game Cat Island routes and a jetpack to get around with. And then there was Tetris Effect, the Tetris Effect connected beta, which is live right now for free on the PlayStation Store.
Oh wow.
You don't even have to own Tetris Effect Roots. Anybody can go play Tetris Effect for free right now, and the multiplayer is enabled.
Wow, that's a good way to try it, right? For free. Go check it out. Play it in all its glory, right?
Yeah, yeah. The Tetris Effect connected beta is going on for a couple more days now on the PlayStation Store. For those of you out there who have been unsure about Tetris Effect and whether or not it's worth dropping the steep $40 price tag, here's your chance to go and play it without dropping even a dime. I wouldn't wait around. It's beautiful, even on the older PSVR hardware.
So let me ask you this. Do you think that's consolation to the PSVR people that are like, I want a new game? Like, well, you got the DLC for this this game and this game. Like, fuck that, man. I want a new game, bro. Because they're in that lull, right? They're like right in between amazingness. Like, so
Well, here's the thing. That all stops tomorrow. Like tomorrow kicks off a summer season for PSVR that's just going to be jam packed. I said it before. There was a bunch of new games announced during the month of June for PlayStation VR, and pretty soon they're going to be overrun. And even a couple of high-profile exclusives coming their way with the Akashi and Fracked. So I mean, tons of great stuff coming to PlayStation VR. And if you're watching this right now, then I mean it's pretty much it's already begun with Sniper Elite VR.
absolutely. Eddie C says, how on earth does Sony get away with charging $40 for Tetris Effect? Highway robbery. Have you tried the game, Eddie C? It's a good game, dude. I think it's definitely worth $40, but for some people, the price of free is a better way to try it. So, but yeah,
It's a legitimate AAA VR game, and again, I'm using AAA in terms of quality. Everyone has their own definition, but in my opinion, this is one on a fairly short list of AAA VR games.
yeah, absolutely.
But anyway, no game of the month for PSVR this month. Again, it was either last month or the month before. PSVR was the strongest, and PC didn't have anything. But that's never a problem for Oculus Quest these days, Roots. It seems like every month in, month out, we have a solid list to choose from Oculus Quest. And this month, No different.
Okay. Well, yeah, I agree. Eddie C says he has played it on the PC. No, then you should
Okay,
know.
well there you go.
You should
Well, I
know.
mean, it's $30 on the PC, right? Like, I think that's what he's talking about is the PSVR tax. Most titles cost $5 more on the
Mm,
PSN store. This one just happens to cost 10 more, but it's important to note here that Tetris Effect launched as a PlayStation exclusive. So like it launched at $40 and it goes on sale, but they haven't ever really changed that baseline MSRP on the PlayStation Network.
yeah. Yeah. Plus, PlayStation VR people are a little bit more hungry. They don't have as much to eat, right? The diverse catalog. So they're more apt to pick up almost everything, right? And that is such a good
Well,
title.
again, with regards to the stuff that's came out over the last year, I'd say you're correct. But overall, I'm still taking the PlayStation PSVR library over any other. Like, uh, as far as like the best exclusives, I think Sony takes it running away. Now that might change after Ubisoft launches their 2 Oculus games, and then Resident Evil 4 comes out. I mean, that could change quickly, but as of today, if I had to pick one library to only play these games for the end of time, till the end of time, PSVR is the library I'm picking.
See, I would feel that way if you went like standard library, like, okay, it's discs for both or whatever. These are the games you can play, but the PC, like I can't play Red Dead 2 on the PlayStation VR. I can't play Risk of Rain and all these mods that keep coming out. It's like those are the games that I find myself going to that are blowing me away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's kind of like a balance. So
Well, that's the whole value of PCVR these days is mods and these sorts of things. Helix Vision, the unofficial uses of the VR technology. That's what PC does well, and that's what it will always continue to offer is the freedom of being unlocked and being able to bring games into VR that weren't intended to be VR games. So yeah, I'm certainly not. It wasn't my intention to weigh the different platforms
damn it.
against one another. I was just talking in terms of official catalog, um, games built for VR.
I got you.
The PlayStation VR exclusives are the best games I've ever played.
Yeah, and it's gonna a year from now we're gonna be saying the same thing, I think. So
Yeah, I think they're going to revolutionize gaming again with their new tech, and we should hear more about it soon. There was a letter leaked last week where Sony's inviting VR developers to some kind of a summit for the next generation VR. So we should, if we don't get any official announcements by then, we should at least get some leaks in August when this thing is supposed to take place.
nice. Can't wait.
Anyway, let's get to the Oculus Quest, and it's fairly solid month of June. We started out on the 3rd of June with Stones of Harleth from Garage Collective. This is a game that we played and featured on our channel. A fun game here, Ruuts. A throwback full of retro nostalgia, and best of all, the cherry on top, that $10 price tag. Almost anyone can afford this. If you can afford a VR headset, you can afford this game.
Yeah, yeah. Unless you're cheap, and then you're gonna be like $10. Like I don't know what you can get for $10, but you're definitely not. This is a really good deal. I put it in the no-brainer category, right? So
Yeah. No brainer. I feel like it was underpriced, in my opinion. I feel like I think that pretty much the same amount of people would have bought it at 15, and it still would have been a steal at $15.
yeah, yeah. Very true.
So yeah, 10. Um, no brainer. Pick that game up for 10. Then we had a week later, we had a Rogue Escape come to us from Spare Parts Oasis. This game again dropped on June the 10th for $20. Um, I don't know what to say about this. I enjoyed my timing at Roots, uh, but I feel like there was a lot of potential left on the table with this one.
This is a frustrating game. I mean, you're going to take your time to learn. That's the best thing about it, though. You cannot say when you're and everything's said and done, you've learned how to pilot the ship, and you know what everything is. You know what it all does, and then you get to the area that Wes is at, and don't go farther. At least I haven't anyway so far.
Well, if you're like me, you got bored with reading, which is pretty much what the most of the game is. It's just reading and choosing options from a text prompt. You know what I mean? And while they tie it all together nice and neatly with their story, I would have preferred a bit more dynamic gameplay and a bit more to look at. I mean, there's nothing. You're in an enclosed space for the entire thing, and there's really nothing to look at other than the control panel in front of you.
Well, this is Wes's problem. He was told he was in the ocean or in a body of water. He wanted to see something, right? Like if you were
Right.
in just some escape the room, you don't expect to see anything, right? But the expectation is there. And you know, I kind of thought of Summerland or what's that? Summer Funland. You know what I mean? The water ride, how you're going through and you got this big glass thing, and how cool could they have really made this thing looking, even if it was just a portal where you were looking out, a small portal to see stuff, right? I'm in a disco
Typic-
ball, Wes.
Well,
Don't know.
typically, even with like traditional escape rooms, it normally isn't literally a room. It's normally like an escape house,
Right.
right? Yeah, you have you open up new areas, and I'm sure there's probably some of that going on here too, but I imagine it's very limited, if in here at all. So again, a good solid release. Um, I was expecting more from it.
Eddie C says a rogue escape is basically a switch flipping simulator.
There
Yeah,
you
well,
go.
yeah, or you get to turn the crank too. Reminded me, remember those radios with the battery, the flashlight, and you'd have to.
Yeah.
Those were sweet.
Yeah. There's a lot of that. That's basically what you're doing here until you get a grip on how to balance your energy consumption with your looting. Um, there's a lot of that cranking the batteries up manually.
Yeah.
Then we come to another week later, the high profile release of the month, Larcenauts, coming to us from Impulse Gear on June 17th for $30. So they didn't overprice it. They kind of hit the upper limit of what we were hoping to get the game at. Launched to some mixed reviews. A lot of the problems that were cited have been updated. And really, the story with this game is, from most people's perspective, is that this game is going to be great. But most people will tell you that they believe that Larcenauts is an early access title and probably should have waited a little bit longer before they launched.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say that's a pretty fair assumption or thought process. I don't know. I enjoyed the little bit that I've played in there, but I haven't been back. And I don't know. I haven't seen many people playing it, and that's the
Well,
problem.
that's the story, right? When you bring a multiplayer game to market, it has to be something that people don't want to put down. And most people happen to be saying, "Well, I'll come back to this one later when they've had a chance to fix it."
Hmm.
It's hard if everyone's saying that. It's hard to rebound from. It's kind of what people said about the what was that other game? The Frostpoint game. Remember that game? Beautiful looking multiplayer game, highly produced, unique concept, much like this. Uh, Lacked some gunplay and some other things at the beginning, and people said they'd go back to it, and it ended up shutting its servers down within just a few months. So hopefully, these guys really push the pace on their timeline, really get this thing into not only a good state, but a great state. Make this into a game that draws people back in and holds them this time. And I feel like it's very possible that this game could be in the conversation at the end of the year for some awards.
Yeah. Well, Radio Runt says it's a pretty good game, but I haven't seen him in there either. My problem is exactly what you just said. Like, you get one shot with the multiplayer game, and it doesn't help that it's $30. And I echo everything you said about that being the right price. It's a fair price. But coupled with everything else that's going on now, it's a fucked price because that's too much to invest in something that for people that they're unsure of, and there's not really a player base because nobody else is in there. It's you know what I mean. They're paying themselves in this corner to they're gonna have to
They're
drastically
gonna have to
reduce the price again, and
they're
then
gonna have to do what everyone else does. They're gonna have to do what Solaris did. They're gonna have to do what Ubisoft did. They're gonna have to give the game away for a little while.
they should have
Get some
done that to
people in there.
begin with. Just like, and I say this every time, Pavlov. This is a perfect example. This is more early access than most of them. You sell it for $10 for I don't know, however long until you can give you incentive to get it out of early access and you can charge more. But then you're filling the player base. Everybody's like, damn, this is only $10. I can get this thing. And then when you polish it, then you can say, okay, hey, pick it up now because next week we're raising the price. And everybody feels
Yes.
like it's fair, right?
Yeah,
So
So that's what Solaris did. They took it to like $13, and everyone bought it. Like they said, "Damn, I could have this brand new, slick looking uh, multiplayer VR game for just $13 on launch day." It was PSVR launch day, mind you, not Oculus launch day. Um, and everyone bought it. So now, if people are in there and people are going to have their aim controllers on this weekend, I guarantee you that when people want to break from the single player action in Sniper Elite, there are going to be a group that go to Solaris and play it because it's in their libraries. It's a new game, and everyone has it.
yeah. Yeah. So I don't know why they keep these games. I guess everybody has different expectations of what's going to happen, but like it just keeps happening, dude. Like just look at all the other releases of other games and learn from it. So
Wolveraza says Solaris is super way more broken than Larcenauts, in my opinion. Well, the things people didn't like about Solaris got patched out. I think uh, some of what Wolvie feels towards Solaris must come from the type of game it is. It's not a traditional shooter at all. It's not a kill the enemy and win type game, which is kind of what he's into. So I think maybe some of that might be factoring into his judgment there with that game. It's more of an esport type game, and that's literally the story of the game is you're in like this futuristic esport and you're protecting points on the map, doing things like this. It isn't just about kills like most shooters are.
I think that the problem is uh Wolveraz is talking about a different Solaris than you're talking about as far as on the PC version because he can never find a match, which is why Diz says he will play Solaris when they get crossplay working. So and it makes
Yeah,
sense. I mean,
that's kind of a big deal for them to get crossplay working. I'm pretty sure that's one of the things that they promised in the reveal of this game all those months ago is that it would end up being a crossplay title. Now, don't quote me on that. This is just me going from memory, but it seems like I was expecting crossplay for Solaris.
Wolveraz says no. It's just the pairing system's so broken you can't get a match. Well, they need to fix it then. That's all I gotta
Yeah,
say.
well, if that's the problem, if it isn't really that there just isn't people in the game, then yeah, that is a problem, and it's not an uncommon one. We've seen matchmaking problems in other games before as well.
It's true.
To round out the Oculus Quest offerings for the month of June, on that very same day, June the 17th, Eternal Starlight was released from White Noise Games. $20 on this one, Ruuts. We covered the launch of it on the channel. We didn't play it, but we covered it, and I think really my whole take on this one is this just isn't the type of game that interests me. With that said, there was a lot of interest from our community,
Mm.
and people played this game and liked this game. So certainly deserves to be on this list.
Yeah, it's not my game at all. I see something like this, and I was like, I first saw it, I was like, oh, this is no one's gonna like this, and then everyone's like raving about it in the chat that one day. So it's definitely a niche game. I mean, if you like this type of game, it's amazing. You're actually in it, right? I'm just not that big at this type of fights. But yeah, it definitely deserves to be up there for sure.
Eddie C in the chat says Eternal Starlight was amazing. Game of the month right here.
The Radio Runt
Radio
said the
Rut.
same. Yeah.
Eternal Starlight should be the game of the month. That was a great Quest game. So we have two in the chat coming out right off the top here, and putting their votes in for Eternal Starlight. And I am open to being swayed on this. I have no set way that I was going to go with it, but what my question I was going to pose was Stones of Harleth, which is the one that I played, the one that I enjoyed, versus Larcenauts, the high profile release that everyone bought. Flawed as it may be, most people think that it's going to be a great game. But I'm getting taken aback here now, Ruuts, by the chat coming out in the other direction.
Yeah, no, I mean, I knew that I kind of had an idea this was going to happen because the people that talked about Eternal Starlight were raving about it, right? I haven't heard anybody rave about any of these games. I've heard them say we're good, but I haven't heard anybody like definitively say this is a raving about it before it came out and after they played it. So it may be a niche game, but definitely those type of people, they seem to really like it.
Traveling Man 3775. I did not get Eternal, so I vote Stones only because that's what I know. I got disappointed with a Rogue Escape, so looks like Traveling Man was in my boat when it came to a Rogue Escape. Anyone else in the chat? I'd be interested to hear what you think on this matter. Stones of Harleth, Larcenauts, Eternal Starlight. Honestly, I was kind of leaning toward going with Larcenauts. I mean, as great as Stones of Harleth was, I mean, how many people bought it? Not a whole lot. I mean, he did good numbers for it being a single dev team. People bought the game. Don't get me wrong, but Larcenauts, I mean, probably what, sold 10 times as many. You know what I mean? Um, so really, I was going to go with that just based on the high profile of the release and the general positive attitude towards it. But again, I'm open to being swayed. Ruuts, what were you thinking?
I'm kind of the same way. I'm open to be in swayed as well. Onikazi says it's Stones over Eternal. Radio Runt says that Eternal Starlight is the best RTS on Quest. And I mean, people, like I said, it's just that there's such for people that do like these type of games, people are saying it's amazing. So I definitely think we'd be remiss on a game that I kind of like feel like we flipped a coin in the air because we don't really know, and we're having a big response. I would lean towards Eternal Starlight for that reason.
Well, we've got Lipnox VR in the chat saying I would pick Stones of Harleth because I never played the others. Eddie C, I played all three. Eternal Starlight was my favorite. Onikazi says Stones over Eternal for me. So he's another vote for Stones of Harleth there. Eddie C says it's probably the best RTS in VR, period. Wolveriza, a lot of people bought Larcenauts, but a metric crap ton returned it as well. That's a good point. Is the game cat? I only got Larcenauts. It's fun, but needs polish. I guess the question here isn't Stones or Larcenauts. It's Stones or Eternal Starlight. And I think in terms of votes, that it's actually even, or it might even be in favor of Stones of Harleth.
Oh, I guess add them up. Could do one. Whoever has the most could be the one with the runner up on the other.
All right. Well, let's just get a count. Eddie C says Eternal Starlight, and Radio Rut says Eternal Starlight. And going down the list here, Lipnock says Stones, so that's 2-1. Onakazi says Stones, so that's 2-2. And ET2K9 now says I'd pick Stones of Harleth as well. So that's 3-2 Stones of Harleth. Yeah, and honestly, Roots, I mean, if we had to pick the one game we had the most fun with out of the group, personally, for me it would be Stones of Harleth. What about you?
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. I mean, and that would have been my argument if people wouldn't have been so strong for Eternal Starlight, and we weren't even talking about it. If we were talking Larcenauts or Stones, I would be saying, Larcenauts is as much potential as it has. Like, we don't reward that in a game of the month. You know what I mean? Like, well, it could be good. It has potential. It should have been good on launch. And so that actually gets dinged for on a launch. So I would say, I guess it really sounds like Stones of Harleth, and then maybe Eternal Starlight as a runner up.
Yeah, I think it's a case where we have more votes for Stones, but probably more passion for the other one, right? Like the two that voted for that are like, dude, this game is amazing, it's awesome, and everyone else is kind of like, yeah, I played Stones, it was fun, I give that my vote.
Well, Eddie C has a good point too. He says he doesn't think enough people actually played Eternal Starlight, and we did just start out this whole little conversation about how cheap Stones of Harleth is. It's a no-brainer. So almost everybody probably picked it up. It's only $10, right?
Okay, well, one more thing I want to check here. I want to check the number of reviews each has.
Oh, that's
That's a
good.
pretty good indicator of how many people bought each one. And we may be off base, with
That's true.
the assumption that more people played with Stones.
Well, I
So
blame the chat then. Well, I mean, that's the way I would. It's in our community, at least in the representation of who's here. That's what it is. More people clearly played Stones of Harleth over Larcenauts.
by the
Or
way,
not
people,
Larcenauts.
there's a 40 plus minute short film on the Oculus Quest store now. Madrid Noir. It's interactive. It's a mystery. It's available now on the Quest store, and it's something we're going to be covering next week. It's $9 on the Quest store if you want to check it out beforehand, and if not, we'll have a nice review for you ready in a week's time.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's Wolves and the Walls times 10.
Well, it is interactive, and it's about that long, right?
Yeah, 45 minutes, 2 parts.
It's from it's got all kinds of recognition from it's came from the Tribeca Festival, and it's been on the world circuit.
Radio Run says the other issue is both of you haven't played Starlight, which is disappointing. And all I gotta say to you is,
how dare you?
how dare you, Radio Run? Are you
Can't
questioning
play them
my
all,
soul?
bro.
That's true. We can't play them all, and if the developer doesn't reach out to us, and it's not our type of game, we're not going to reach out to them.
Well, I will say this: that Eternal Starlight has about 30 more reviews on the Oculus Quest store than Stones of Harleth.
So more people have played, then that means there's more people, more of a demand to play it than it costs twice as much as well.
Yeah. So it sold more copies at twice the
What's the review? What's the stars on it?
That's a good question. I should have probably looked at that, right?
Yeah, well.
All right, so let's find out.
Oh wow, Onakazi says the devs say they hope to add multiplayer. That's good. Are you talking, which game are you talking about? Eternal Starlight? Or are you talking about okay, yeah, there is multiplayer incoming Eternal Starlight, Eddie C says.
Yeah, so it looks like we got about a 4.6 on the Eternal Starlight. Stones of Harleth. Looks like it's
7.5.
4 point, probably a 4.2
Oh,
for
wow.
Stones of Harleth.
Well, they're both very well received. So,
Wow, man, I'm literally right down the middle on this one. Like, I want to go with Stones of Harleth. It was the game I played and liked, but I feel like the universe is telling us to go the other way with it.
well, I know that there's a lot of, I know Radio Runt and Eddie C are screaming that it's the best RTS ever in VR. That's all I know.
Traveling Man 3775 says Stones has the easiest entry, so that's 4-2. So
Yeah, either way,
yeah,
I think we just do one, either one. You'd say it's a tie, or they're both first place and they're both runner up. Either way, they're both
well, we'll,
considered for
we'll
the
call it we'll
conversation.
call it we'll call it Stones of Harleth, based on the fact that it got more votes in the chat, based on the fact that we both played it and like it. Stones of Harleth is going to be the game of the month, but we will extend to Eternal Starlight the runner-up / honorable mention. And for those of you who don't know what significance that plays, the reason we do game of the month is so that we have a list at the end of the year of nominees for game of the year. And by making Eternal Starlight a runner-up, it will be entered into the conversation just like Stones of Harleth, so that if we play Eternal Starlight between now and the end of the year and we feel like it's a better game, then we can give it that, we can treat it as such in the larger conversation. So I think Stones of Harleth deserves to win based on the chat and our personal experience. And I think Eternal Starlight is a very deserving runner up.
Yep, I agree.
All right. So give me just to have a second so I can document this and not have to watch the episode back in December. All right, so Stones of Harleth is the winner. Goes into the winner's circle with Space Explorer VR. No, I'm just kidding. We're not putting
You're
that junk in the winner's circle.
not. It's not going up against Hitman 3.
No, it's not going to be in that discussion. I don't think there's going to be very many games that are in that discussion. But there could be some. I think Fract has a good possibility to be in that discussion. I think Sniper Elite and After the Fall are probably going to be in that discussion. I think that Akashi could be in that discussion, and what is it, Wanderer, that time travel game. I think that could be in the discussion as well. A bright 6 months ahead of for PlayStation VR owners. It's not going out with a whimper; it's going out with a bang.
Yeah, absolutely. What about that chess game coming out? Is that coming to PlayStation?
I'm not sure. I
No.
think there's already a VR chess game on PlayStation.
I'm telling you, I want the Star Wars one with the Star Wars creatures. Those were cool.
Yeah, I thought that should be I think that should be a mini game in a larger Star Wars adventure game.
That would be cool, right? Wouldn't it be cool if you could like sit down as Luke and play that against Obi-Wan? Like beat him. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be great. And then you could have the Wookiee getting all pissed off. ET2K9 now says, yeah, play Eternal when multiplayer is added. So there you go.
Like I know I can't. Yeah. So I thought you were talking about Returnal, and I was gonna say,
come on, man.
I ain't waiting, dude. It's happening sooner than later.
Anyway, we move along to PCVR, a month very reminiscent of Oculus Quest's month, as over half of the PCVR entries this month are cross-platform games that were also released on Oculus Quest. So just to repeat, a Rogue Escape came to us on June the 10th, $20. This was the version of a Rogue Escape that we played, mind you, was on PC. We had Eternal Starlight, White Noise Games, June 17th. We just spent a good deal of time talking about this game, and determining that it is a popular choice among our chat. And I would be interested to know, all these people arguing for Eternal Starlight in the chat rather, did they play it on Quest or did you play it on PC? Because if you played it on PC, then your argument's going to be much more pertinent to this discussion as opposed to the last one.
Well, and then one of the things I always like to look at, and people never, it gets lost in the discussion, but like it's been out for a bit. How much do you play it? How much have you gone back? Because that's what everyone
Right.
talks about Larcenauts, how good it is, but then nobody plays it. I haven't seen anybody playing it. So it's only as good. It's like when Swarm came out, it's like you couldn't stop playing it, right? Because it was so good. That's how good that if a game's good. If you want to keep going, if you're laying in bed thinking about Returnal, the game's probably too good. So
Gamertag VR joined in chat said, I played this for quite some time the other day on Quest. Eddie C says he played it on Quest. Radio Runt, he played it on Quest. So I asked you, GT, people were arguing for this as the Oculus Quest game of the month over Larcenauts, over Stones of Harleth. What do you think? Do you think this was the game of the month, or did the chat, the others in chat get it right with Stones of Harleth? Anyway, as we move on, Larcenauts, also a PCVR release on the 17th of June. Again, $30 from Impulse Gear. We already talked about it. A good game that most people think will one day possibly be a great game.
yeah, it could be. It has potential for sure.
We did have a couple of PCVR exclusives launched this month. We had Survive, who from Candy Makers, which came out of early access after a lengthy time in Steam early access on June 20th. This game launched for $25. I haven't had a chance to put hands on this one yet, Ruuts, but it looks good to me. It looks fun.
Yeah, I haven't played it either. I don't know. Was that anybody else in the chat played it, or I'm kind of curious to what people think of this game. There's so many games coming out like this now, right? It's like everybody's racing to be the best one.
Yeah, well, this seems to be a very polished example of an early VR
GTFO.
game.
What about GTFO? Have you tried that one?
No, I have not tried GTFO.
That's one's scary.
Gamertag VR, it's good, but it did not amaze me for some reason. I really enjoyed Larcenauts. Lots going on behind the scenes with that one. See, that was my initial train of thought as well, but too many people had too many negative things to say about Larcenauts. So hopefully they can right the ship and get a close to finished product out there before people lose interest in their lobby dies. That's really the whole thing with that game.
Yeah.
Is how quickly can they get it together?
Yeah, and what else is going to come out in the meantime, right? And all it takes
Right.
is something. I mean, Pop 1's already, anybody that left Pop 1 to try Larcenauts probably won't go back. They're like, yeah, they've already written it off, right? So.
Diz the Game Cat Survive is on my wish list and will probably get my vote. So yeah, this is the frame of mind I'm in, Diz. I didn't play Survive yet, but I know of all the games on the PC list, this is probably the top of my want to play list. This is the one that I actually feel like I'm going to be playing this game very soon. Maybe even like tomorrow. Like this game looks awesome.
Dude. Zombies and guns. Yeah.
Gamertag, oh yeah, Impulse Gear messed up. I told them they were too. They implemented an entire movement system because of me. Yeah, I remember you said that they changed that. What was it? The dash, the auto dash that they changed in it, Ruuts?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. Just everything about there's just sometimes the devs of games, they don't listen. They actually, and Larcenauts had a lot of people play testing it, right? Trying it and stuff, and I'm sure they said the same thing, and that they just didn't listen. And what it almost pissed people off in the respect that they fixed it so quick. It was like, okay, so clearly you knew it was an issue. You know what I mean? It was either so easy that you could have done it in no time, or you already had the fix. I don't know.
Right. But time will tell on Larcenauts. It's interesting. It's going to be an interesting conversation at the end of the year as we revisit this, looking into the best shooters of the year. Uh, how did it come on? How did they support it between now and December? It's going to be an interesting conversation.
Space Dennison says he's got Survive. It's aight. Definitely good for friends.
That's what we like, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I heard GTFO is definitely good for friends and hard as hell.
Oh yeah, GTFO is very very difficult from what most people say. It's difficult to progress at all in it.
Yeah.
Fifth and final PCVR release for the month of June was Sentenced VR. This game came to us from Samuel Gordon on June 25th. Aptly priced, fairly priced at $8 here, Ruuts. This is a game that we found out about quite some time ago. A lot of people looking forward to it due to its dark nature. Or the dark concept of being an executioner working the gallows, but not much game here at the end of the day, from what I understand.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I was gonna ask you if you played this or not yet, but apparently not. Gamertag says apparently Wolveraza player base has dropped so much on Pop One. I think it's due to lockdown, lifting summer and bits. I don't know. For me, I just got it. Just there's a lot of things. There's so many. I think they need to balance. They still need to balance the lobbies. You're still going up against people that are crazy good and getting killed so quick. And it's just like everything else. There's new stuff out, right?
No, that's it. You don't want to. I mean, it's kind of hard to just stick to one game, especially when you're running a channel, right? So eventually you got to move on. And I think with a lot of people that it's just kind of that. I mean, new stuff comes out, you move on.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sentence VR. This is a game that makes you an executioner, but it tries to make you feel bad about it. It's like a game of guilt. Like they want you to develop a conscience instead of just going in and having fun hacking the heads off evil men.
Well, I want to know what they did. I mean, like, if I'm gonna feel any guilt, man, like if I know that this person raped somebody or something, I might not feel so bad about chopping their head off. You know what I mean? Like, if I just tell me what the story is, that would be cool. It's like you get to decide. Like, okay, I'm not just the executioner. I get to decide if I want to kill this guy or not. Maybe there should be a trial.
Yeah, it would be cool if you could like attack the constable and like
Bust
the
him
king.
out. Hell yeah,
like try to break him loose. That sounds like a great game. I'd pay $8 for that.
That would be cool. Well, and I don't know. I guess, and so this is $8. I say I don't know if I can get behind that. The summer sale's still on, at least for another day, right? And we still have half a list. I was thinking we should go back and do that other half of the list, because the best games we didn't even get to, and I guarantee we could get most of that list for less than $8.
Yeah. Well, you know what we could do is we could just post it in the Discord under the bargain bin, since there is only what I mean. Today's the last day, right, for the summer sale.
Yeah, true.
So maybe we get in there and post that. So kind of a repost both parts of the summer sale picks, so people kind of get their reminder in there to pick these games up while they still can.
Yeah, but I was talking about the good ones that from the episode that cut out. The best.
Yeah, well, I don't know exactly what you're referring to, but I'm sure there's some good ones on there. Everything I put on the list was
the best of the Steam sale.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about
best.
The best.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got you. No, I figure we're going to circle back to that within the next 2 or 3 weeks. And it'll, instead of being the best of the Steam sale, it's just going to be the best of Steam, right?
Oh, that's a good sound bite. Circle back. Mental note, Wes.
Yeah. Yeah, well, somebody, it was Spry Guy. I talked to Spry Guy about it the other day. He was disappointed that we couldn't go on with that one. So I kind of gave him my word that we would get back around to it. So we're going to get back around to it.
Yeah, I think it's good.
Yeah, it is. It is good. Oh, you were confusing me there for a minute. I was like, dude, what could possibly have been on that Steam list that was so good that he really wants to go get back into
The
it?
best.
Anyway, Gamertag said that he was in direct contact with the Impulse Gear with regards to Larcenauts. It took him 3 attempts, submitting like written feedback to them to get them to do anything to improve the game.
Well, thank you, GT, for trying to save the game, and thank you for saving me from buying the game. That's 2 games you've saved me now because I listened to your advice, because you recommended it. You said it was fun, but you also said it wasn't in its released form, like it was, you know what I mean? And so I just decided, no, I'm not going to support it then. And then I got a free key from MASH, so that all worked out anyway. But
Yeah. So GT's channel, great to make these kinds of decisions. I'm still kind of wondering, GT, which version of the Sniper Elite should I go with tomorrow? I'm thinking that we should probably get it on Oculus, right? So that we could use the cross buy. But interested to hear if there's there's enough with the PlayStation version and the aim controller to warrant dropping another $30 on a second copy of it.
yeah, well, from what Dave Station was saying, he was saying that it was hands down aim controller game.
Oh, yeah, well, I mean, what do you expect that guy to say? He's a
He's got
PSVR guy, right?
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
GT says go Oculus.
Yeah.
I think that's the that makes sense. Now I'm assuming that it's a cross-buy title. I don't know that this is going to be cross-buy, and if it isn't, now all of a sudden the decision-making process becomes difficult again, right?
Yeah, that's true. Well, and that's what somebody was saying in the chat yesterday or the Discord, that and it really does make a big at least for my things I buy, makes a big difference if it's cross-buy or not. It almost always I'm gonna pick it up if I can have it on my PC and Quest. I'm gonna pick it up because that's one more game I get to take with me if I go to my nephew's house or wherever, versus the Steam version. And I don't have a native Steam headset, and then the whole idea that, well, it's Oculus exclusive. What if you switch over to the Valve Index 2? Okay. I've also played with my Quest. I've played it through Revive, and every game I've played through Revive played perfect. So I don't think that's an issue anymore. You know what I mean? So there really is no reason to not pick it up on the Oculus, unless you don't want to give Facebook your money. That I do understand, because I heard Gaben needs a couple more bucks. He's really broke right now.
Yeah, right. We need to support Steam in these hard times.
Yeah.
Gamertag VR says he has been told that it is cross-buy.
Okay.
30 Chinese yen is the price.
Yeah.
Anyway, Island Kara just got in here, beat, sentenced, and was fired. I've never been fired before. Played it twice, so it must not be terrible if Island Kara played through it twice, Ruuts.
You got fired? What were you fired for? Did you mess
Hesitate.
up you hesitated? You messed up? Well, I guess back then it was probably a big problem, right? Like, you can't be hesitating, dude. The king says to kill somebody, you chop that stuff off quick.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, that's what we do.
Yeah.
Anyway, the time has come to make a decision, folks. We're going to go ahead and say it right now. A Rogue Escape was not the PCVR game of the month. So what was the PCVR game of the month? Was it Eternal Starlight? Was it Larcenauts, Survive, or Sentenced VR? What do you think, chat? PCVR game of the month.
Sentenced, man. I don't think there's enough. The blood doesn't even, it looks pink, dude.
Island Cara said I killed them too soon. That's why. That's why.
Oh, well, you got to kind of wait, like what if there was a reprieve? What if all of a sudden the king came out and said, I changed my mind, and you already chopped his head off? Like that'll get your head chopped off, bro.
Yeah, you got to do what the king says, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Island Cara votes sentence. So there's one vote for sentence. That's interesting, Roots. Interesting. Speak up, people. We don't want sentence to win, do we? Or do we?
Swarm. Can Swarm we can't win again, can it?
Gamertag VR, I refunded Survive twice within 30 minutes. Oh, wow.
Okay. Well, that says a lot. Yeah.
How do you refund it twice within 30 minutes? Like you weren't sure you should have refunded it the first time?
Can you once I've returned something and then bought it a second time, they were like, "No, dude, you bought this now. Like you've already returned it and then decided to buy it again. Now I'm pretty sure you knew what this game's about."
So if not Survive, then Eternal Starlight, Larcenauts, or Sentenced. And Lipnock says, I would say Larcenauts. ADC said, let Sentenced have it. I don't know. I kind of have a problem with Sentence getting it. It's so limited in what it is. To call it the game of the month over a game like Larcenauts or even Eternal Starlight would just feel weird to me. It's more like I guess it's a game, but it'd be kind of like calling Freediver game of the month lined up with these other full VR games. It's a little weird, right?
Yeah. Alien Kara says F Swarm, and all I have to say is,
How dare you?
how dare you? You're ripping my heart out.
ET2K now says, I guess Larcenauts should win. Gamertag VR. Yeah, I played it ages ago. I bought it again 3 months or so later, and I still didn't think it was great. Okay, so
I got
so he's talking about the older version, not the finished in the full release version of Survive. So notable that that's it. ADC says I vote Sentenced. Gamertag VR says don't hate it. Wolveraza is saying Larcenauts, but I want my damn reload. Yeah. So I guess there's 2 votes for Sentenced. 1 vote Larcenauts, 2 votes Larcenauts, 3 votes Larcenauts. Gamertag Game of the Month, PCVR, Larcenauts, Eternal Starlight, or Sentenced. I know Gamertag's played both of them, Sentenced and Larcenauts, and Eternal Starlight. He's played all of these games, so I'd be interested to know, GT, what you think. I have a bit of a hard time going with Sentence based on the amount of content that there is here.
Come on, man.
How do you know the content, dude? Maybe you get to go home and like you tell your wife about it. You know how it's rotting your soul. Think about that. Your job is to kill people, dude, on a daily basis.
Plus, look at this color scheme, Roots. It looks like the Walking Dead Onslaught. Everything's all washed out with a weird tint.
Everything's blue. Like I want to kill some of these people because they look blue to begin with, and their blood is pink. That's not natural.
Okay, Gargamel.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I guess I would put me in that category. Gamertag says he would say Larcenauts.
As does Ray Delator and Meow Mix. So yeah, Eddie's changing his vote to Larcenauts. It all came apart at the end there for you, Island. I'm sorry, but the PCVR game of the month for this month is Larcenauts. I was hoping it was Larcenauts Roots because I feel like this game deserves to be revisited at the end of the year when we're having these discussions. I feel like it's out of all these games, this is going to be the one that changes the most between now and then. And everybody's kind of opinion of this game is that it has a lot of potential. So I'm kind of glad that it won. I think we got it right.
says you're picking an unfinished game over this finished sentenced gem.
Well, I guess they could have given us a small piece of Larcenauts too, and just said, "Here's the whole game for $8," and then it would have been finished, right?
Yeah. I never played either one though. I mean, to be fair.
You played Larcenauts.
Well, I mean, no, I mean, I didn't play this game though. That's what I meant. My thing is I don't know, man. Like, I would rather pick someone out of the crowd. That would be cool. Be like, you get up here and watch them like come up afraid, and then
Right. Who's the lucky winner to get your head cut off?
yeah,
Get up here now, or we're going to kill your whole family.
unless your
Right?
odds are all forever in your favor.
All right. So I think that's going to wrap us up here. PlayStation VR Game of the Month is non-existent. We'll call Hitman 3 Sloth DLC the PlayStation VR Game of the Month. How about that?
Yeah.
Or how about the boxed in Game Cat Island? Did you know about Game Cat Island, Roots?
I did not. I have a hard time not picking this one though, man. The Space Explorer, bro. Like,
Space Explorers VR.
yeah,
Game of the year.
game of the year.
Definitely going to be in the talks with games like
Hitman 3.
Hitman 3 and Sniper Elite VR After the Fall and Space Explorer VR.
I just can't imagine. Can you imagine if this game was on PCVR and you could like play it in the Reverb G2, like the clarity? You'd feel like you were really at the space shuttle. Look at that. It's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to go try that right now, as a matter of fact.
For real.
Gamertag VR said, I'm pretty sure I was the first channel to feature Sentence. Good fun, great color choices, but lacked replayability. He said, well, the dev said I was first. I bet they say that to all the gals. Lee VR says, Sentence looks like a colorblind simulator. It does, doesn't it? I wonder if you could get some of those special glasses, those glasses that they've been selling over the last couple of years for colorblind people, and make that game look normal.
That something's weird with it, dude. Everything's blue and I don't like it.
Again, spoken like a true Gargamel.
Yeah, Lipnock says Space Explorer is so bad. Yeah, well, that's what I've heard.
ET2K9 now says Boxed In DLC was pretty great. So there you go. Boxed In DLC is the game of the month for PlayStation VR. No, Roots, Boxed In gaining some notoriety as it came from the Steam store and ported into PlayStation VR. Obviously, at these times, it got a lot more attention on the PSVR circuit than it did on PC. And as a response to the favorable review from PlayStation VR Without Parole, he's been adding in updates. There's a secret area called Game Cat Island,
What?
and you can navigate.
Strangers Island?
I know it, right? And you can navigate this island with a jetpack that he added into the game. Now, think about this for a minute, Roots. This is a puzzle game that puts you in a room with colored boxes that stack up until it smashes you against the wall. As old school a concept as you could possibly come up with for a game. But he's adding in secret areas that take you away to islands with jetpacks on them. It's like a complete divergence from what the game even is. I think this guy has too much time on his hands.
Yeah, well, he's got some very cool ideas. Gamertag says with a $2 donation, or actually, I guess what did you say they were?
Yuan. It's two yuan.
Two yuans. Do you know who else is bad?
My mom.
Oh yeah, she is. She's real bad, dude. Naughty.
Terrible. Yeah.
She's real naughty.
Island Kara says a jetpack. OMG. Yeah, I know, right? Like he gets a good review, gets a little play on PSVR, and now all of a sudden he's developing a whole new game and attaching it to his $6 puzzle game.
Do we get it on the PC version or?
That's an interesting question. It would be kind of against their. I don't imagine they'd be very pleased if they found out that their Game Cat Island was on the Steam version of the game
Maybe they would love it.
because they're such PlayStation homers, man. I'm sure that they would they'd be like, "Oh, that makes no sense," you know.
Yeah, that's true, but I want to see it though.
Gamertag says it's GT token, it's not actual currency. Well, at least we can use it to buy some sneak energy, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Onikazi says it's the pound, not the yuan. What was it you called it the last time, dude? I can't remember what it was.
I called it a shilling
Yeah,
last
the
time.
shillings. Yeah, dude. Or we could. I don't even know what's the Hobbit stall. The Hobbit money. I think it's my Hobbit money.
I don't know what hobbits trade. I know they like rings.
Well, just
Anyway, we're running too late here. We're starting to talk a bunch of nonsense, and we could be playing VR games. So I guess it's about time for us to wrap it up. I'd like to thank all of you who hung in there, help us make these hard, important, life-changing decisions. Thanks to everyone who showed out in chat. Thanks to everyone watched after the fact. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Give it a thumbs down if you didn't. Either way, click the big red button and the bell to stay up with all of our content here on the Virtual Strangers channel. For those of you who want to do a little something extra, who want to support the channel, maybe you're upset when you heard that we don't have access to Sniper Elite just yet, and we're going to have to pay for it. You know what? We're not going to have to pay for it. Do you know why we're not going to have to pay for it? Because viewers like you, people like GT, people like Eric Masher and Wolveraza, and the list goes on of people who supported us, who gave a little extra to support our channel. $3 per month with Patreon gives you access to our weekly show notes, special insider updates. We've had 2 insider updates this week, and extra content, including the always awesome Money Show. So big thank you to all of our Patreon supporters out there. For those of you who support us here on YouTube, we're going to be covering Sniper Elite tomorrow, and regardless of whether or not a key shows up in our inbox, we know we're going to be covering it thanks to support of people like you. So again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you to all of those out there who give and help to support the channel.
Yep.
Last but not least, of course, is our Discord. You will find an invitation to our Discord in the description below. This is our home. This is where we live. This is where we all communicate and talk together 24/7. Do you want to talk VR? Go to the Discord. Maybe you need some players for a multiplayer game? Go to the Discord. That's where we live. It's our home. We're extending an invitation to you to make it your home as well. Come on home.
Yeah, and if you're thinking about going to get a PlayStation 5, don't go home until after Ruuts gets his. Well, you can come home, just don't steal my PlayStation. That's all I gotta say.
There you go. Island Karen in the chat says, "Hey, I haven't seen the new logo. It is in there. It's on the Patreon page. Just go to posts on the left-hand side, click post, and scroll back through the post. And not only will you see our new logo, I guess Island Karen just broke the news for us, right? That we've got new stuff coming. You'll see the new logo on there, and there's another animation, much like the one that we shared this past week. So, anyone who's a Patreon supporter is privy to all of this. Just go scroll back and you'll see it. It's I don't know, about 6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
8 weeks ago that was added on there.
Yep.
Anyway, with that said, friends, we'd like to thank you all once again for watching. For Ruuts, I'm Wes. We'll see you this weekend.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Stay easy.
Oh,
That's
so
all
she
right.
says, I thought it was going to be in this show. Okay.
Yeah, it's no big deal. No biggie. You're out.
We've been alluding to it for a long time anyway. It's like anybody who knows or is paying attention or cares to know already knows, right?
Yeah, that's true. And then
Still
nobody
waiting on
knows.
this thing to stop. Like it's still going.